Well, it's come that time to open the next chapter in our homestead. For years, we've thought about doing something like this, and we're super excited to kind of move into another phase of what we're doing and hopefully help a dream come true. About 6 years ago, roughly, we got pretty serious about what we're doing here, and we've continuously added garden beds over the years. And it all started in my previous life. Before I started doing this, I was a fisheries biologist, and I'd spent thousands of days at sea. I got tired of doing that, and I really wanted to come back home down to the south and grow my own food. And we started slowly working our way up. You know, we started with 1 garden bed, then 4, then 5 in a greenhouse, then 9. And we've raised chickens for many, many years, but that was kind of factored into it. And so the goal was, you know, to produce all of our own food. And this year in the spring, we went roughly about 3 months without going to the grocery store for produce. So that worked out really well, and it kind of spurred us to say, like, okay, what's the next step? That was the important question. What's the next step in this journey that we're doing? And the next journey is, honestly, it's going to be attempting for this to bring in some kind of income. And the income can come from a number of places. We grow seedlings and sell them, stuff like that, and that definitely helps. But we wanted to raise animals to some extent. But there's only one real problem with that. Problem with that is I don't want to mess with animal doo-doo. I mean, honestly, to raise a pig, raise some cows, goats, anything like that is just a lot more effort. And we live close to the water. We have woods around us. So we decided that we would try and get as much of our meat as possible from fishing and hunting. And we are fairly successful at that. You know, I wanted to teach my son how to fish, how to hunt, and stuff like that. You know, the saying is, if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. And so, you know, as a parent, my job, I felt like, was to teach him how to feed himself for life. So that's kind of the route we took with that. And we decided to come up with some more ideas and stuff like that. And the chickens are good. We sell some of the eggs, which doesn't really bring us any income. It just helps pay for all of, you know, the food and maintenance and stuff like that. So we are able to keep up with that. And we can't raise enough chickens really to make it a big operation here, and nor do we care to. And I think that's the important part of all of this. So, you know, we don't want to do meat birds. I personally don't want to slaughter animals. You know, especially animals that I've raised myself. By raising the chickens and getting the eggs, we're getting a continuous flow of food year after year, day after day from it, and it's enough to sustain us. And we have gone through periods where we have literally lived off of eggs for a period of time. You know, we still go to the grocery store and stuff like that, but the more and more we thought about it, and we looked at our property and we looked at what we could sustainably do, what time management would do, and help bring in income, we decided that we were going to start raising honeybees. Honeybees is something that we've thought about for years. And then this year I went to a farmer's market and I was selling my seedlings, and the lady that was, you know, a couple booths down, she had brought some honey and sold out just like that. So that really spurred my interest, not to mention the fact that we all know that honeybees are in a decline. We all know that, you know, there's pollination is really important, and I'm sure a lot of people have had pollination problems amongst their gardens and homesteads and stuff like that. but it was a non-invasive way to add something else to our property to be able to bring some kind of income, help the environment, and at the same time, help the pollination amongst our plants. So there's the hive stand. It's gonna be a little bit diesel, but I think it's gonna work out pretty good. Hopefully it's long enough to support what we hope to have 2 hives on here, one this year and one next year. So we're supposed to get our bees in about 2 weeks roughly. So we're gonna get what's called a nuke. And that's basically a miniature hive all ready to go. They'll have the combs built and stuff like that, and the queen should be laying. And I'm really excited to share this journey with you. I have no idea what I'm doing. I knew that bees were complex, but I didn't know exactly how complex they were. So it's gonna be an interesting journey, to say the least. And another big reason to do this is because I wanted to learn something totally new. I wanted to challenge myself, and I think this is gonna be the exact challenge that I need. So I've spent the past few months just reading and watching and learning as much as I can about honeybees. And I gotta tell you, those are some fascinating animals. So we're really excited to start this. This journey is gonna be filled with some serious mistakes, I'm sure of it. And the first one that I've learned is you got to get your bees like early in the year. I didn't realize that spring for me was not spring for a bee. So that right there is the beginning of the next chapter in this whole story. What I have here is a landing board. A brood box is where they're gonna build most of their stuff, and then the cover. And then over time, we will add more and more layers as honey starts to flow and stuff like that. But like I said, apparently, from what I understand, this year is not really gonna be a big honey harvesting year. Maybe next year will be. So it'll be interesting to see how this works out. But we painted it so we could protect it, and I'm pretty excited still. Now especially, this is the first time it's been in the yard, and we are just ecstatic. So even though this is a new chapter in our homestead, this will not be the final chapter. It will be a big chapter though, and I hope to not close a chapter anytime soon. We're still gardening hard as ever, and really the goal for the rest of the year is maybe we can get another 3, maybe 4 or 5 months of all of our own produce out of our garden and really continue to meet that goal. So this is just gonna be something bonus. There comes a lot of responsibility with it, and we're aware of that. But we're pretty excited to open this chapter and continue with the eggs and the chickens and the garden and the greenhouse in the wintertime, and now adding into the bees. And like I said, if you want a good laugh and you want to see somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, come check it out. But like I said, I've been studying a lot. I've been reading and watching and trying to educate myself as much as possible. And I've really enjoyed it and I've learned a lot. And God's design on a honeybee is absolutely amazing. And moving forward, we will be checking that out and seeing how amazing it is, and just hopefully enjoying the spoils of it and continuing on. On to the new chapter.